Hello, and welcome to Evolve. I am your host, Jamil Khoury, Arabic pronunciation Jamil Khoury, founder and director of Polycultural Institute, the think and create tank of Chicago's Silk Road Cultural Center. Evolve is a podcast designed to be a mix of spoken essays, written and delivered by yours truly, and further down the line, conversations with interesting and exciting thinkers, changemakers, innovators, and disruptors. Please note that although Silk Road Cultural Center has been producing live theater and digital media for years, we are brand new to the world of podcasting and are eager to learn. Today's episode of Evolve marks part 2 of our Rebuilding Syria collection. It's titled A Litany of No's. My intent is to shed light on what it is that the Syrian people said no to when they overthrew the Assad regime after decades of struggle and sacrifice. Syrians never accepted dictatorship as destiny. Granted, many complied out of abject fear, and who can blame them? The costs and risks were exceedingly high. But resisting tyranny and oppression takes myriad forms. There are full-scale uprisings and revolutions, but there is also resistance at the most micro-personal level. When an individual refuses to believe that terror and subjugation are normal, that they are acceptable, that they are forever. Syria's struggle for freedom, which continues to this day, well predates the outbreak of internecine fighting in 2011. The regime's slogan, Assad or we burn the country, a brazen threat that was used to justify unspeakable levels of death and destruction, was familiar to Syrians long before peaceful protests broke out 14 years ago. Fortunately, it was a counter-slogan, the people want the fall of the regime, that ultimately won the day. As I said in part 1 of this collection, Syria's struggle for freedom involves all sectors of society, all regions, all ethnicities, and all religious communities. The pursuit of freedom was and remains the Syrian national project. Yes, innate human needs inevitably spur competing visions of desired outcomes, but those same needs typically allow for compromise. The combination of survival instincts and hope has an uncanny way of uniting people. And besides, my way or the highway rarely ends well, which brings us to our litany of no's. In rising up against the Assad tyranny, millions of Syrians resoundingly declared no to an all-powerful strongman, no to a cult of personality, no to a one-party state, no to torture and rape as tools of statecraft, no to killing protesters, criminalizing dissent, imprisoning opposition, policing speech, controlling thought, and censoring art. The litany continues. No to a surveillance state where even the walls have ears. No to a particularly vicious police state. No to a state led by and for a mafioso family. No to state propaganda and disinformation posing as journalism. No to the politics of deflection, distraction, and projection. No to stoking ethnic and religious tensions as a means to divide, conquer, and rule. No to an army of informants and spies that normalize distrust and institutionalize insecurity. And there's more. No to a thoroughly corrupt kleptocracy. No to a regime elite who pillage, plunder, and barter away national assets, resources, and wealth. No to an economic system in which the rich get richer and everyone else gets poorer, not just a Syrian problem. No to the humiliation and collective punishment of electricity cuts, water cuts, food shortages, environmental neglect, and bans on foreign currency transactions. The people have spoken, and they refuse to go back. Today, in this period of transition, the chorus of voices is only expanding. The masses of Syrians who are pro-civil society and pro-democratic values are saying no to a sectarian state, no to a theocratic state, no to an Islamist state, no to a state that offers anything less than full citizenship and full equality to all Syrians, regardless of ethnicity and religion, within collectively agreed upon constitutional and legal frameworks. To be clear, full equality also extends to women and girls. Syrians are emphatically proclaiming no to any government scenario that fails to honor the enormous pain, trauma, and loss endured over 50 years of dictatorship. No to a state that doesn't prioritize and serve the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of the Syrian people. Now, a litany of no's naturally coexists with a litany of yeses. Syrians are not holding back from articulating what they want. I hope the world takes notice. We could all use the reminders. Yes to human and civil rights. Yes to women's rights. Yes to individual liberties. Yes to economic justice. Yes to ethnic, religious, and linguistic pluralism. Yes to free expression and a free press. Yes to a government that is accountable and transparent. Yes to due process of law and an impartial and fair judiciary. Yes to ending the debilitating, cruel, people-punishing international sanctions still in place after Assad's fall. Those are the demands being voiced by the Syrians with whom I feel aligned. But it will never happen in the Arab world, insist the naysayers. May the Syrian people prove them wrong. Ultimately, it was state violence, poor governance, bad politics, and unnecessary regional conflicts that reduced large swaths of Syria to literal rubble. The Syrians have declared no more. They want freedom, they want dignity, they want to live their best possible lives. Don't we all? Fortunately, the Syrian ledger points in a very promising direction. Between Syria's immensely talented and resourceful people, its brilliant thinkers and legendary entrepreneurs, its patrimony as a cradle of civilization, the vital role it played along the historic Silk Road, its varied landscapes and strategic location, its rich ethnic and religious diversity, its natural and aesthetic beauty, its art and culture, and its resilience and indomitable spirit, Syria is blessed with the ingredients of greatness. And on that note, thank you for joining us for this episode of Evolve. To learn more about Silk Road Cultural Center and Polycultural Institute, and to support us with a donation, please visit us at silkroadculturalcenter.org. If you enjoyed this content and want to help us expand our reach, please like, share, and subscribe. We all have a role to play in rebuilding Syria. Until next time, thank you for tuning in. May God bless and protect you.